What up, fam? I am Dr. De Luna, and you are listening to Drop It Like It's Doc podcast. Today we have on my new best friend, Austin. He is the CEO and creator of literally everything Organic Jaguar, which is a natural company for all things skincare, hair products. Truly, we barely even talk about his products. We talk about his journey to natural healing, his journey with nutrition, his history with learning about what's in the tap water, and how to create the happiest, healthy body possible. A lot of what we talk about is what's going on in the world, but we give you some realistic tips for how to empower yourself to show up as your best self for both you, your friends, your family, your future kids. This was one of my favorite episodes to date. I really do love him, and I think you're gonna love him and everything he creates too. What up, Austin?
What up? Aloha.
Aloha. Welcome to the jungle.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the jungle. I'm all about it. Organic, everything.
I figured you would be Organic Jaguar King.
Yeah. I feel like this almost blends in. Like it's perfect.
It does. Yeah. It does. I'm just going to casually keep this and put it somewhere up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Perfect.
I love the Jaguar necklace. It's so sick.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
My friend makes it. We'll just rep everyone that we know and love on this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Without a doubt.
Yes.
I don't like the only new clothes I buy now is like support friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Which I want to buy a Jaguar necklace if they have that.
Okay, great. She made it custom for me. She could definitely make it custom for you. Anything you need. All that glitters, Jewelry Co. Those of you that are interested.
Boom. Okay. Love it.
So my friend, one of my new best friends, I know that we just met, but instantly when I met you, I'm like, this guy is fucking rad. I love what you stand for. I love what you put out there on social media. Right when I met you, I'm like, I feel like I've known this guy forever. So I am just so grateful that you were down to have a conversation with me.
Yes, thank you. I feel like more people need to wake up to what's going on in this world, and you're the perfect person. I feel like we have a great conversation, just balance. So it's great. It's perfect alignment.
Yay. Well, I'm so excited. And I don't know if you've listened to a full episode, which trust me, I don't care. But the reason I'm asking is because I always start my podcast by love bombing my guest. And even though I just met you, it's going to be very easy for me to say beautiful things about you. Wow. So soak it in.
I'll just sit back and take it. Yeah, receiving that's
amazing. Sit back and take it. Thank you. So Austin, I just love how open you are about your journey. I love how open you are about teaching people real ass shit. You're unfiltered, which this whole podcast is unfiltered.
Love it.
And before I even met you, before I even knew that you were the person behind Organic Jaguar, I was looking for an organic shower filter, and I bought your shower filter, and I was like, okay. And just your marketing and the way that you just advertise things and the research and the effort and the love that you put into your products was just apparent. And then I met you, and you're an Aries, which Leo and Aries, instant besties.
Yes.
You were one of those people that so many people in my life are like, do you know Austin? Do you know Austin? Do you know Austin? You should know Austin. And I was like, I don't know Austin. And then the universe brought us together. And I just feel like, you know, you're doing such big, beautiful things in the world. And I'm just stoked to know someone like you because, you know, the movers and the shakers, we are the people that are going to make this world a better place. And we need more people like you. So thanks for just practicing what you preach and for helping make the world a better place.
Wow. Thank you so much. For real. That means the world to me. That's awesome. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, what I came to you for was not the best circumstances, but I'm stoked to be able to go through this journey with you about it. And we'll talk all about that. So
yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. That fills my heart, and it just feels really good to hear. So yeah, especially coming from you, thank you.
You're welcome. You are so welcome. It's going to probably keep coming. Okay. And because I know literally nothing about you except for your medical history, can you just give me a little bit of background as to how you got here? Because I know everyone has a story, and the little bit that I do know about you, just where you were raised and then being in the Marines, right?
Yep.
I mean, how did you end up here?
Well, I also want to give a disclaimer with the medical history. I gave Dr. Ashley a full, like, good to go. You can say everything about my charts, all that. I don't care. Like, I have nothing to hide. And I only want to be transparent and get better through this process with you and to show the growth from it. So I'm really excited about that. My past was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17, had my parents sign me up, pretty crazy. And then I was stationed fully on the East Coast, Jacksonville, North Carolina. So I went from Jacksonville to Jacksonville. Quite funny how that happened. Never deployed. I was a crew chief on the helicopters that you sometimes see on the coast. The biggest military helicopter in the world. Pretty sick. Loved my job, hated the government.
Yeah.
I was just treated as a number. They fed us crap food. They didn't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're just a number at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I love what I did. I loved all the things I learned in the Marine Corps. And then when I got out, I was going to use my GI Bill to go to school, which I did. I started to use it in Florida. And then I was like, I want to visit my aunt that was in California, Northern California. And I flew out there for 1 week and I loved it. It was so amazing. So I decided to move everything. Big old Penske truck, had my Camaro on the back and a trailer, and just sent it all the way across country. And I was up there for 5 years. And like I said, I had a past life up there with, I was in the cannabis industry pretty heavy. And it was really cool. I actually worked with 2 veteran-owned and operated cannabis companies that gave medical marijuana to a lot of veterans up there. So it was really cool to see how that medicine was used, of course. So when I used it, it definitely been farther on the recreational side than it did the medicinal. But to start, it really helped me for sure, like ground myself and kind of start to like understand, like open up my mind, per se. And then let's see, I moved down here actually in late 2020. Stuff was getting really weird in the Bay Area in 2020, as you can imagine. I was like the only person there, like not wearing a mask and like just like looking at people like, what are y'all doing? Like,
you poor thing.
You're wearing like gloves and like a mask in your car by yourself. What are you doing? Like, I'm just like, oh my God. So I could just go on a rant about that. But yeah, it was wild. So I actually moved down here with my old best friend. Therapy really helped me see who was supportive of my journey and not. And we were going to start a cannabis company as well. And it was going to be similar to where we gave out free medical marijuana to veterans, all that kind of stuff. Thank goodness didn't do that. Just had a falling out with him and was in a civil engineering job. I got laid off of that late last year, actually July of last year. And I went fully into Organic Jaguar. I kind of was like, it was like a side business at that time. And then I just fully went into it and haven't looked back ever since. It's been really cool. And it started with the shower filter, and then it's been a couple other products. And then now it's like a plethora of products. I have 7 employees. Like, it's a lot. Now I'm like at a point to where it's like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. But I'm learning my own boundaries with work and delegation and all that comes with that, as you know. So it's been such a fulfilling journey with that. It's the most fun I've ever had. It's the most like beautiful thing to be able to educate people about everything, just healthy lifestyle, holistic lifestyle. And what the mainstream news is telling us to do and what you shouldn't do with most of that information. So, and then, just making products that ultimately I believe and I know to my soul that are the best. And if they're not, I'll tweak them and make them the best. So my goal is to be right next to Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, right next to them in Target, Publix, whatever, Costco, and be like that, you know? So,
yes.
Yeah. I'm stoked, but that is my journey as a whole, and as far as the gist of it. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on getting fired. I'm so happy that you were.
Yes, I am too.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when certain things fall into place to have other things fall into place.
Yes.
Yes.
Epic. So I'm curious, what got you interested in natural health? Because I know a lot of humans, I mean, I'm a New Yorker, I'm an East Coaster, and so many of them still think I'm crazy. Like, I don't know how my man doesn't think I'm crazy. He probably does. He just won't tell me because I'm crazy. But how did you get into this?
I love that. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, honestly, people think I'm crazy just like being barefoot and stuff. I'm like, dude, we're humans. Like, that's what we meant to, whatever. We can go on so many rants. It's so funny. I think I originally got started when I developed kidney stones a few years ago. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't drink soda. I don't do any of these things. And it was from the immense amount of kale I was eating at the time. Because
your kale tree. Yeah,
the kale superfood. I was like touted as a superfood a few years ago. And like you said, a kale tree. I had a beautiful garden in my backyard that I created. And it was a humongous kale tree. And I thought that was good for me. And I was also drinking tap water for 27 years at this time. So I just did a little research on ewg.org/tap water to see per zip code what was in my tap water. And I was like, oh my God, like triethanolamine, forever chemicals, uranium, just wild stuff. I'm like, how is there 30 contaminants and 15 of them exceed health guidelines? And the health guidelines are like loose.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of like originally got me started into that. And then I think just one after the other and just like slowly realizing like waking up to certain things. It was a slow process, but I'm also lucky my dad was a head personal trainer for like a private country club when I was growing up. So I ate relatively healthy. I ate kind of healthy in the Marine Corps. They didn't feed us that well. Like the quality of food wasn't that good. And then when I got out, I didn't know how to cook. So I had to learn for myself. And the more I learned about food, the more like cooking knowledge I learned, the more I learned about certain ingredients and how bad they were for me or how some of them were good for me. And that kind of just started the stacking, the compounding effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into it?
Oh, wow. That's a big question too. So I, born and raised in New York, I kid you not, I did not eat my first vegetable until I was 16. I remember my first vegetable. I joke to my patients that are freaking out about their kids. I'm like, they're going to be okay. You could start small because I didn't eat vegetables until high school and I'm a doctor. Like my brain developed fine, but I was not into it at all when I was on the East Coast. I was a Dr. Pepper, Funyuns, Burger King, fish sticks, like pizza bites girl, processed food all the way. My uncle would make a joke that I would only eat American cheese.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just didn't like real food. And it's disgusting to think about, honestly. And that could even make me go down this tangent of why my teeth were so fucked up and why I needed braces like 5 times because I was probably so deficient in all fat soluble vitamins. I didn't chew like a raw carrot ever to help strengthen my jaw. So that was just, it was actually my brother, now that I think back at it, because he was training to be in the Olympics. He was a long distance runner and he was amazing. He was this amazing athlete. I looked up to him so much. And then it was me. I was like a ballerina and stuff, but I was not an Olympic athlete. So he would always be eating these salads. And he was one of the first people to tell me about glutathione. And he was really into quercetin and antioxidants and optimizing.
Wow.
Optimizing his body. So then honestly, this is really trippy for me to think about. So then I went on birth control. And for the first time in my life, my body changed because I'm a pretty small person. I started gaining weight in weird places. I was uncomfortable in my body for the first time. All that shit food that I was eating was starting to show up physically on my body. It's at the time of, you're really vulnerable when you're in high school. So I started exercising. He started teaching me how to be a little bit healthy. And then it started opening my eyes. Why is no one talking about this? Why is no one teaching you about this? Why don't we learn this in school? And I always wanted to be a doctor. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, cool, I want to learn more about this in medical school. Of course I'll learn about it in medical school. Not one program I looked into had any nutritional coursework, none of it. And I also graduated high school a year early because I'm a fucking nerd. So I started shadowing all these different doctors, and every doctor I was shadowing was obese, depressed.
Oh my God.
I would eat lunch with them and it was horrifying what they would eat. And I was deeply, deeply confused. So I also had a wild consciousness opening when I moved to California. And healthy food was more available. And I grew up in a farm town in New York. I'm from the Appalachian Mountains. So we were growing food everywhere, but that food wasn't always readily available. Now it is. And it's been fun to watch the transition and the shift. But back then, you would go to the grocery store and try to get organic veggies and they would come from fucking Mexico.
Wow.
So I moved to California, always wanted to be on that doctor train. Was so confused though, just based on that training that I had. I didn't want to be one of those doctors. I didn't want to be sick and obese and unhappy and hating my job. So many of them would look at me deep in this hole and be like, you shouldn't do this.
Wow.
You're not meant to do this. And I had this moment where I just was so lost. Moved to California, started practicing yoga, started meditating, started being in the sun more, started learning more about superfoods and being healthy. And I was vegan at the time, which we could totally get into. I make fun of myself all the time for being vegan. Then I met a naturopathic doctor.
Wow.
And it was one of those moments from the universe where you get chills. I started crying when I met him. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And he was talking with his patients. He was glowing. He was happy. He was healthy. He was eating this organic salad with chicken and like hard-boiled egg. And he was just chatting with his patients about their kids and their dog. And you could tell he loved his job. You could tell that he was also walking the walk, and it all fell into place there. So it was definitely a slow journey, but also I started realizing how good I felt when I was eating real food. And mental health wise, things shifted, and I just little symptoms that I didn't even know that I was experiencing growing up, like headaches and acne or just like inflammation, just went away just by eating real food. So yeah, slowly but surely. And then once you learn about food, then you learn about what's in the water, and you learn about what's in your clothing, and you learn about what's in beauty products as a woman. So it was just layer by layer by layer by layer.
Yeah, the compounding effect. There's so many things I want to go off on with that.
Yes.
And thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you for asking.
It's so funny. So on the East Coast, whenever I travel back home, it's so much harder for me to be healthy per se.
Yeah.
The food out there just isn't as good. People aren't on the train as much. And like you said, moving to California, it was a consciousness awakening for me, a slow one. And like getting into yoga and doing these things, that moving my body. And I had a beautiful conscious relationship that I messed up. And then I started going to therapy and the inner work and like so many things like opening up. And so I can relate to that quite a bit. So it's so freaking cool and thankful for that naturopath that led you on this path.
Me too. Wow. Dr. Bronner, not the Dr. Bronner that makes the soap, because I don't think that's made by a doctor. But when I met him, I'm like, are you the one that makes the soap? He's like, no, I'm not, but love him. And I'll never forget, I was at college right around that time too. There was a filter on the wall, but it still was, I mean, you probably know a lot about water, and I can't even think of the brand, but it's one that's in like airports and stuff that you could fill up your water in. Okay. Way better than tap water. But I was filling up just from the water fountain, not even the filter behind it. And one of my best friends from California, born and raised in San Diego, because I'm from the Appalachian Mountains. The water is delicious. Wow. When I go home and look at the EWG, there's like one contaminant in it. I mean,
so rare.
It's so rare. So I'm just thinking I could drink the water. Yeah, it tastes a little weird, but maybe, I'm a kid. I'm a kid when I moved here. She slapped it out of my hand. She's like, you can't drink that. I'm like, what do you mean I can't drink the water? And she's like, it's poison. That's what she said to me. She's like, the water is poison. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Brie?
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So that was earth shaking to me. I'm like, what do you mean there's poison in the water?
People like see like water and it's clear and they're like, oh, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Like, but they don't realize even if it was perfectly treated by a humongous reverse osmosis system down at the city municipality treatment center, it has to travel through decades old, mile-long piping to get to our faucet, to get to our shower, whatever, and then boom, there's all these heavy metals, there's all these crazy contaminants re-added in, and much less their filter system is not that good. I mean,
no.
You got to imagine, like, you know this, but everyone that we're talking to, there's 40 million people in California. Where is there a spring that's going to give people 40 million amount of water? Like, there isn't.
No.
So
don't we get our water from the Colorado River?
And that's dried up.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like some of it. Yes, a little bit. And I got my water quality report in recently. I'm sure you did in the mail. And it's, we get it from multiple different rivers, but Colorado mainly. But that's so funny because the Colorado River is mostly dried up. So, which is wild to me. So pretty much, and they released this like a year ago, that all of our water in California and most other states is recycled sewage water. Yeah. Like that's what it is. Yeah. And it's like, but in the back of my head, I'm like, no shit. Like where else? Like where else are they getting it from? Mount Shasta's way in Northern California. It can only host like the city around it. It's pretty crazy. So that was my first thing that like woke me up, was the tap water.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and it gave you fucking kidney stones. I mean, yes, the oxalates in the kale did not help, but there are so many contaminants. And I also remember when I was in college, this was a big consciousness awakening for me too. I was in an environmental medicine class, and they were talking about how it was around the time of Fukushima. And they were talking about how Fukushima is still leaking. And this is actually a big reason why I went vegan, because trust me, fam, I am not even close to vegan anymore. Those of you that watch this know that I am not vegan at all. It was so bad for my mental health, so bad for a lot of aspects of my hormones, my body, anyway. But at that time, I was eating a lot of fish. I'm like, I live by the coast for the first time. This is amazing, fresh fish. All of it. And Fukushima was happening and it was still leaking. And then he was showing these reports of the radioactive elements that were bioaccumulating in these fish. And that's when I started to learn about bioaccumulation. I'm like, wait a second. If I'm eating that and they're eating this, what's happening to my own body? Where is that storing in my own body? So yeah, it's deeply concerning what is in the water here. And I drive across the country from time to time. Not doing that again. Last year I almost died. But anyway, I would always look to see what was in the tap water because I'm just curious. I want to know where I am, because also I don't even give my dogs tap water. Right, no. Absolutely not. They're drinking. If I wouldn't eat their food, I don't give it to them. If I wouldn't drink their water, I don't give it to them. So I would always check to be like, can I? Because sometimes, you'd be pleasantly surprised. I was in these like cute little mountain towns in Virginia. You never know. But the water here in California is some of the worst I've ever seen outside of like an industrial park outside of Jersey. Right. Yeah. I mean,
there's just so many people. There's just no way in hell. But I would love to talk about the accumulation of stuff like in our food and whatnot, because I'm just thinking like, even if you're vegan per se and you don't eat animal products, like everything that's sprayed on the plants that you're eating, it's horrible. Like it's horrible. Pretty sad. And then, yeah, like with the fish, you know, the heavy metals and all this kind of stuff adding up. With conventional beef, the same thing. The feedlots, they're eating corn, wheat, soy pellets, which is thus like creating nutrient deficiencies in the cow and then going back to us. And
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty wild that, you know, what your food eating is just as important as what you're eating. So, yeah. I mean, I always say it like, if you can afford it, because I do have a lot of younger people that follow me that are in college and whatnot, and I get it. I always tell them, eat the ground beef, conventional, no big deal. When you can afford it, get grass-fed, get regenerative. That's the top of the tier. But yeah, it's pretty wild to see how industrialization throughout all food processes and tilling of the soil and how much that has affected our health, our gut health, and just like overall our food quality. And it sucks that like in modern society we have to go out of our way so much to get good quality food. Whereas, you know, early 1900s, maybe mid 1900s, it's like all food was organic.
Yeah.
It wasn't sprayed with bullshit. It wasn't tilled up. It wasn't monocropping. It was legit food. Yeah. And now money is the biggest thing that these big food, big ag wants to just make more of this and leaves us, you know, stranded for our health. And now we, the 1%, have to go out of our way to get damn good quality food. And it's sad. It is sad. So
it is sad. And you know, I'm a brat in that I would argue with anyone that you can commit to non-toxic eating. There's just ways around it. You know, I was a very broke college student. I was it took me probably till the second half of college to really come online to organic. I was a very broke med school student, and I would buy organic in bulk. I would go to places where, you know, they were throwing out their veggies and I would get it. I would go to places like Grocery Outlet and get like all my organic oils and things. I would go to Costco and get bulk, because the owner of Costco, I heard, is, you know, a woman now that really gives a fuck about quality of food. So you can get a lot of things in bulk, like huge things of eggs and, you know, big things of, you know, pantry items that you would be spending a lot on if you were going to like Sprouts or Whole Foods. But also, I don't know how you feel about Whole Foods. I fucking hate Whole Foods.
I would love to hear more about that. And Costco's definitely stepped up their product game big time, actually. They're getting so much more like healthy products that I align with, which is sick. But yeah, you can go out of your way to make the organic, holistic lifestyle affordable, like eating especially. So I'm glad you mentioned all that. Yeah. I also want to mention farmers markets.
Exactly.
Because,
dude, food stamps, you can use them at farmers markets.
I didn't know that.
Yes, in San Diego, you can.
Wow. Yeah, farmers markets are amazing. It's just, one, you're cutting out the middleman, the grocery store, which is charging you more. And two, you get to talk to the farmers, that you get to ask them, hey, were these sprayed with pesticides? What did you feed these chickens that are laying these eggs? Like, what's going on here, all this? And what I've realized recently is going to Sprouts, which I've seen videos of this, but now I've seen it in person. The chlorinated water and a couple other chemicals that they're spraying on all the organic veggies. So the misters in there, when they go off, that's like chlorinated water, which is like,
wow. That's a really good point that you bring up there. Yeah. So, ew, first of all, and I wanted to just mention that, similar to what you said earlier, this government runs on money. They run on people being sick, because that's how they make money. So they're trying to make us be sick through our food supply, through our medications. Our medical system is so incredibly broken.
It's the biggest business in the world. It's the biggest gang in the world.
It's the biggest gang in the world. And, you know, saying that something is organic, I would much rather have my patient go to a farmer's market and talk to the farmer, because maybe that farm isn't being subsidized by the government and they're struggling. So they're not paying to get that organic stamp because they don't care. Right. But that soil has been in their land for centuries and they love what they do and they're prideful about their products, and they're not spraying, they're not using fertilizer, they're not, you know, buying these really processed foods to then feed their animals. They're grazing on the land. So that's something that, you know, it doesn't have to be organic, but then knowing where your food is coming from is key. And having it even be as close to you as possible makes it the most nutrient dense, because you could be eating all organic, but it's all coming in a package. And from months ago, it doesn't hold nutritional quality. Yeah, especially the plastic packaging. Yeah. And I've also heard that organic, with their spraying things, it's like they only take out a couple less ingredients than the conventional sprays, the pesticides. So, I almost like, part of me doesn't like trust the organic even now. I get that. Even though I'll still buy it, because that's, you know, what I have access to if I had missed the Tuesday farmers market, you know. Yes. But yeah, regardless, I'm like, damn, like these apples are humongous and they look like perfect. Like how? Like how? What? Like how? Like when I go to pick blueberries, apples, whatever, they don't look perfect and shiny and all this. I'm like, what? Yeah. This is a little fishy to me. I don't know. And I mean, growing your food is obviously the best option, right? But then also, I'm sure that you've thought about this before. When I first moved into my house right now is Precious. The owner of the house is honestly Precious. He has an organic garden, but he's spraying it with tap water, like just from a hose. And I'm like, I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that because it bioaccumulates in the plant. So I want filtered water on my sweet little plants. So,
I have a little something for you. So you can attach the shower filter, and I have a garden hose attachment kit.
Oh my God, yes. Done. Gotcha. I'm so excited.
Yes. Now
Brilliant.
Yes, fuck yeah. And it's literally just like 2 brass pieces that attach, and it's really cool. Now, it's not the same as reverse osmosis water.
It's okay.
But I mean, it's still like, there's still good minerals and stuff like going into it as well. So,
yes.
Because RO cuts out everything, as you know.
For sure.
Yeah, heck yeah. Okay, I'm stoked for that.
Yay.
Yes.
I'm so happy that I put that little tidbit out there then so that you could tell everyone that you can use this for that. Because I had at one point, I'm trying to think of what the brand was called. It was just like this, it was only carbon-based filter. And it was better. It was better than tap water, obviously. But still, I was like, would I drink this water? No. Like, I would not drink this water.
So a lot of, and some Instagram ads like get me like boiling because I'll see that it'll say, I don't know, you probably watched my story like maybe a couple days ago. I was like ranting on this company that said they removed 99.8% of contaminants, and it was a little charcoal filter for drinking. I'm like, that's BS. That is false advertising. That's fucked up. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if there's one contaminant in that water that is affinity towards carbon, but outside of that, I can't imagine that to ever be true.
Right. So the Brita pitcher filters, any other pitcher style filter is not doing it. Unfortunately, like, and I always recommend an RO system just because it is cutting out 99.9% of stuff. I always remineralize with a little salt or electrolytes. I brought you some too. You probably have electrolytes, but I would love to.
I'm a salt girl, so I'm down to try that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about Kangen machines and the hydrate? I would love to hear that.
Let me just say to my audience, if one more of you fucking slides into my DMs telling me to buy a Kangen machine, like instant block. Please stay away from me. No, I do not want to buy your $8,000 pyramid scheme machine.
Yep, MLM.
I can't do that. I don't even know enough about it because I'm literally sweating with anger because it infuriates me that someone thinks that it's okay to almost like bully someone into saying that this is the only type of water that is good. Is the Earth's filtration system anything like a Kangen water filter? No. I had a patient this week who, you know, we went on this tangent together and she's like, I asked this Kangen fucking girl who wouldn't stop annoying me what I would have to do. Like what is similar on this Earth that would be similar to a Kangen water filter? And she said, well, a lake. A high glacier lake would have to be struck by lightning, and that would be something similar. Did our ancestors drink that?
Wow.
Did our great-grandparents drink that? No, they did not. No. And I'm pretty sure they were fertile and healthy and not out $8,000. So, yeah, not a fan. Don't think it's necessary at all.
Yep.
And hard no for me.
Good. I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
Just anytime. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so annoying because I'll have like people like message me and be like, I bought this thing, blah, blah, but you're always talking about RO. And I'm like, unfortunately, you're still drinking like kind of like filtered tap water, like just barely filtered tap water. That's been like ionized or something. Like, no, get out of here with that.
Has anyone even tested it at the end to show that the water quality, because I know it's changing the pH and blah, blah, blah. Well, cool. But also know that like your kidneys are changing that pH right back. Right. So so I'm not even a fan of, alkalized water. I don't think it's really doing much to your system at all. I'd rather have you eat an alkalized diet.
Right. And I don't understand how it changes the pH either. That's kind of like a little weird to me. Like what's going on there?
Yeah. You could change the pH for different disease states though.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big no for me for sure. So,
okay, great. Thank you for asking. Once again, we're on the same page.
Love it. Yeah. What do you think as far as women, what's like the biggest but easiest change women can make for like a non-toxic lifestyle? Like what's the most toxic thing that's like, oh, you could easily switch?
I mean, so many women, it's hard. I would just say your beauty products. Beauty products alone. I mean, of course, I think that goes without to say water because you're drinking that, you're bathing in that, right? But if we're saying, for women in particular, the beauty industry is so deeply disturbing. And I also work so closely with women that want so badly to make a family and they cannot. And so many of these toxins, they have reproductive harm if you do get pregnant. They increase your risk of miscarriage, but also they're endocrine disrupting chemicals, and women are dousing themselves with multiple products every single day. And my number one rule is if you cannot eat it, you should not have it on your body because your skin absorbs everything. So it's going into your bloodstream. So I would say beauty products, number one. But it's hard for me to even have a number one because then that spills over into cleaning products. Like, what are you washing your clothes in?
What beauty products do you use? Like just like one company or two?
I go to, what is the name of this store? Shop Good.
Okay.
I go to Shop Good in North Park and I only get products from them. I honestly don't even know the name of the brand that I use, but it's all like plant-based, like compounds that I could read every single one of them and understand what it was. And I went on to the EWG and looked them all up and they were all in the highest excellent category.
Love it.
So yeah.
I always say simple rule of thumb, like just if you can't read the ingredients, it's probably not good to be putting in or on your body.
Yeah.
So, and skin food.
Yeah, skin food. And that doesn't even speak to what women are literally using to soak up their menstrual blood every month, like tampons.
Oh, I just did a video about that.
Did you?
Wild. Yeah, there's like polyester in there. There's perfume. There's a bunch of, oh my God, it's so sad. So sad. But I do see, like, I went into CVS to do those videos, and right next to it was the Core brand, which is 100% organic cotton. So these companies, people are starting to wake up, I think, slowly, especially in California. But there's better alternatives, I think, mainstream, hopefully. So
Yeah.
You were going to say beauty products, and then you mentioned another.
Cleaning products.
Yeah,
cleaning products. I mean, it's funny because earlier when you were saying something along the lines of, don't listen to what the government says, because the government also, I think you're well aware of this. My listeners are probably aware of this if they've listened to any episodes of this podcast that I've talked about toxins, which is probably half of them. But the FDA is a joke.
Oh, yeah.
It is a fucking joke.
It's insane.
So just because it's GRAS, like generally recommended as safe, it doesn't mean that it is safe.
It's not. No way. No. I mean, we've seen the past few years with the government's history. Not the best. They don't really care about our health,
Remember when the president told us to drink bleach?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or like not go home for Christmas because, we'll kill everybody. Yeah. Insane. So sad.
Yeah. I got in a physical altercation with my uncle over that. Isn't that great? Wow. Me, just like a 5'2" girl.
Oh my God.
I'm like, sir, I'm going to say hello to my grandma. He's like, you can't. You're going to kill her. I'm like, I'm going to kill you.
It's so sad. Yeah. News is
Whoops.
one of the most devastating things, I feel like, to people's mental health.
Yeah. If you want to do anything towards your mental health, just never watch the news again.
Yeah.
Ever. Just never watch it.
And maybe do the opposite of what the government recommends or FDA recommends as well.
I agree.
The FDA, I mean, I'm just thinking of like sunscreen, for instance. Everything they recommend on there is approved. Like if I were to get this sunblock approved, it would cost me $20,000 and they wouldn't do it because it doesn't have certain chemicals in it. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, they approve chemical-based sunscreen with oxybenzone, avobenzone, octocrylene, all these things that create a lot of harm in our hormone system. And it's so sad. It's like the FDA is bullshit. Like
it's complete bullshit.
It's so sad.
Yeah. And if even thinking back to just different episodes in time, if the owner of the company would not use the product, there's an issue there. And obviously you use all of your products, you stand by them. And something that I also love that you make, and we'll get into some of your other fun things, is deodorant. Because deodorant, this is something that is mind blowing to me, that so many people are just dousing themselves in chemicals on their armpits, which is where an enormous amount of your lymphatic channels live. And fun fact for anyone watching this that has breasts, the outer edges of your breasts right here is where the most common area of breast cancer is, and that is directly next to your armpit, which is where you're putting on chemical-based deodorants, aluminum, antiperspirants, and aluminum is associated with things like breast cancer. It's associated with things like Alzheimer's. So it's just, but that's approved. That's generally recognized as safe, but your deodorant wouldn't be.
No, not at all. And that's so crazy. That's why I started Organic Jaguar, because walking into any store and seeing all these products, it pisses me off. It really does. And it's like, and I'll just see like people like walk up next to me like, Old Spice, no big deal, with antiperspirants, aluminum, crazy ingredients, fragrance, all that, the crazy stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like we have such a long way to go. It's just like, it's just mainstream marketing, unfortunately, and all this money that goes around to marketing to these people. Slowly, though, we're doing it. We're doing it.
But I'll smell if I don't use it.
Oh, no. If you clean up your diet, you probably won't smell. And actually, the right person will be attracted to you because your pheromones are giving off a wonderful scent. And if, the pheromones are off to that person, they're probably not your person.
Exactly.
Which is crazy to think about.
You know what I hate more than anything?
Oh, hit it, please.
This fucking sunscreen that's in the spray the aerosols.
I could smell it from 40 yards away.
I was at the beach on Saturday, just trying to have a nice day, just laying down on the beach. Yes, I'm well aware that because I'm holding a child, I'm even more sensitive to smells. But even before then, one of the worst smells of my life. I've said this on the podcast. I don't let my mom use hairspray in my house. I throw out her hairspray. I hide it. She gets mad at me. I don't give a fuck, Mindy. I love you.
Yeah.
So she can't spray it in the house, but also I'm at the beach. And I'm just downwind of someone just dousing themselves. Now I'm talking shit. And the person that I'm with is like, what do you expect them to do? They're really fair skinned. I'm like, and then I just list all the things that I would expect them to do. I'm like, not douse themselves in that chemical.
Yes.
Like I'm inhaling it. It's disturbing me at the beach.
Yep. It's crazy. And that's normal for sure.
That's normal.
And that's why I try with my content to normalize the other stuff, you know? Yes. And I want to be like comedic in almost a way. Like my buddy Austin, he's a great name.
Yeah, I know. I was like, are you talking about you?
He's like, I like pay him to like do filming for me, but he definitely is kind of the average per se. He still vapes, he still uses all these things. So I like use him as, and he doesn't mind it either.
That's
as, like,
good.
You know, the unhealthy American.
The unhealthy Austin.
Yeah, and so we're gonna be like doing skits soon where he's gonna like spray himself. I'm gonna like tackle him and I don't know, just like go off the ranting list. But yeah, I feel like fragrances is one of the biggest, most common thing that people have no idea.
Yeah.
And
yes.
When I walk into my mom's house, all these Glad plugins or whatever.
Oh, no.
I'm like, Mom,
yes,
no. Like,
absolutely not.
We can't be doing this. Like, no way.
No, like put an organic, like essential oil diffuser in there.
And scent maybe, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does your house have to smell like strawberries and blueberries? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's just, it's like all marketing. Ugh.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad.
It's the worst thing when I get to an Airbnb and I walk in, I'm like, I can smell it. Oh my God. Immediately.
Or the Teflon pans.
Yeah. Ooh, I bring my own pans with me.
Nice.
If it's somewhere I drive, I bring my pans, I bring my oils, I bring my spices. Like I bring my kitchen with me.
Same.
Because I don't trust it, but it is my favorite when I'm looking at an Airbnb ad and they'll like post their like cast iron pans.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
Yes. I love that. Yeah.
We love this.
Yes. What do you think is another common hormone disruptor that most people don't even know about? Or maybe it's like so common, but most people don't know about.
Well, I'm happy that you said that. Even fragrance, perfume, cologne, disgusting.
I hate that.
I hate it so much. And I honestly feel for my partner because I took him from New York and he's like a standard American human and he didn't know what he was getting into. I don't think he should have because he knew who I was.
That's so
but he didn't know what he was getting into. And this morning, even he was changing and his cologne that I don't let him wear, it was like on the top shelf. It fell and it went onto the floor and a little bit spilled. I'm like, did you just fucking spray cologne in here?
That's so funny. Oh my God.
And he's like, no, it fell. I'm sorry. And I'm like, well, now we have to open all the windows. I like turned into a gremlin. It's so bad though. It's so bad.
Honestly, you should like use him to like make content with, you know, like this is me throwing away my fiance's horrible cologne.
Fiance, you hear that? Propose.
Hey,
Just kidding.
Go.
Yeah.
I would, right?
No, he did not. We just made a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Skirt.
Yeah, we just skipped ahead. We just skipped ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna probably happen. Come on. So I'm just gonna, put the future out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Regardless, it's like, I think that's funny because it's good almost to like be with an average American because you can make, and I don't want to like say content, but you can just help out. You can like help out so much more other people because me and you were in our own little bubble. Even in San Diego, like a lot of people here are a lot more healthier than the average. And like, we're around really conscious people that don't do all these things. But whenever I travel back home, I'm like, oh my God, like these are the people I need to talk to. These are the people that need help the most. Not the people in San Diego that are pretty darn good off. Like everybody else in this world that needs to hear like these messages for sure. So, and in a way that's digestible, because I used to be like, to my mom, like, oh my God, you can't have this, you can't have this. But she didn't understand why. And like, I had to like educate her slowly over time. Especially the older generation is the toughest.
Oh yeah.
Because they've been doing things for decades. And like, like my mom used margarine up until like a year ago, which is literally just like water and seed oils.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, so beautiful. And so it's just like, we have a long way to go, but this is like part of it, which is so freaking cool. I
agree.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things when he moved here, because we talked about the quality of food that I get. And I remember we were at the store and the first time that I bought chicken, he's like, this is how much you pay for chicken. I'm like, sweetie, this is how much we pay for chicken. And he would have things like headaches and joint pain, and he would just not feel well often. And we would talk on the phone and he'd be like, yeah, I just don't feel good. I have to sleep today. He moves here. He's not had one headache. He has not said that anything is hurt. He has felt so much better. He's lost weight, whether he's aware of it or not. And it's truly just because he's eating the food that I'm eating. And, you know, people, if they're going to be cooking at home anyway, just feeling the shift in eating good quality food that isn't laden with chemicals and all of these different things that are causing just unregulated inflammation in your body. So, you know, I'm turning something in his little noodle.
I love it. I love it.
It's nice. It's nice.
Most people don't know what it feels like to feel good in their body. Like they don't, or especially in their head too. But most people don't know what it feels like to be limber and to be almost to be able to do any sort of exercise or movement or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what like hurts me a lot. And then also, so I've been going to this place called the Stretch Effect, which is like a FRC, functional range conditioning type thing, just to deal with a few of my bad movement patterns that have created a couple of, you know, not so good moving joints. But I was like, yeah, I overheard them like talking. I was like, yeah, most people, you know, they say they have bad knees or a bad back, and they think that that's forever.
Yeah.
And they also need to get knee surgery or whatever, and that's going to fix them. And then they're back to the same thing 1 year later. Like it's that conditioning and the big pharma that unfortunately has America by the frickin' gonads. So
yeah, just inject a steroid in it and see what happens.
The quick, simple fix, and it's never that.
No.
As you know, as a naturopath, everything is like starts internally, and no cortisone shot, no topical steroid is going to fix what you've done to yourself for decades. You know, unfortunately, with either eating or movement patterns or what have you. Yeah. Yeah, pretty crazy. It all starts inside.
Yeah, and taking responsibility, right? And recognizing what you're doing and how that's contributing to dis-ease and dysfunction. And it's not easy. You know, it could be our thoughts. It could be the food we eat. It could be what we're putting on our bodies. It could be the relationships we have. Just different toxic things that could be showing up that manifest as different disease states. And, you know, some people don't want to change.
No, but I feel like there's not enough education and I just think of my parents, just because like, they are so ingrained in their patterns, and you know that's what they think. Oh, my knee is bad, I'm screwed for the rest of my life. I got to do a cortisone shot every year. Yeah. There's just not enough education because big pharma. We're one of 2 countries besides New Zealand that has big pharma ads. No, the rest of the world.
New Zealand does?
I think so. Yeah,
really?
I believe. Yeah.
I mean, I've never been there, but I just see them as amazing.
I agree. But yeah, I mean, we're just marketed to 24/7. A simple quick fix. Yeah. But, you know, we got to wait for the 30 seconds of the backlash of that commercial that's, oh, you're going to have these symptoms.
Yeah. I don't watch TV, and when I do watch it, when it's on just in the background of somene's house,
it's disgusting.
I get mad. I mean, you could tell that I get mad often, but I really do get mad. I'm like, Dad, turn this fucking off.
Yeah. It's like brainwashing.
It is brainwashing.
It's just like brainwashing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the people in the commercials are so happy. They're like, why don't you get this immune suppressant so that you could get rid of your rheumatoid arthritis? And it's like, may cause bone marrow suppression, may cause cancer, may cause what?
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
But if you didn't know, maybe if you just got some sun for 5-10 minutes of the day, ate some clean, healthy foods, maybe walked 10 to 20,000 steps, most of this stuff would probably be solved.
Yeah. Your body needs just a few simple things to thrive. We are basically just plants with emotions. Literally. And we just need to be in the sun. We need to move our bodies. We need nourished soil and healthy community, and a lot of things fix itself.
I was going to ask you, simplify to the average American. What can they do? What should they implement? What should the average person like look at? So like, can you explain those in a little more detail?
Sure. I mean, just ask yourself when you're eating, is this a real food? Did this come from the earth? Is this processed? Did it come in a package? When you look on the back of it, does it have ingredients that you don't understand? There should not be many ingredients on the back of anything. So if you're just prioritizing, you know, primarily whole foods, incredible. Also, moving your body. Humans were meant to move. When we move, our frontal lobe lights up. It's incredible for dopamine and happy endorphins, and it just turns our whole brain online. When our brain is online, our whole body works better. Our whole physiology works better. Healthy relationships. So being with people that bring you joy. Joy is something that truly sings healing to every single cell of your body, and it doesn't have to be something incredible. That is free. Joy could be, you know, being outside somewhere in nature that you love. It could be being with someone in your family that you love, being with your dog or a pet, or just, you know, truly just a sport that you love, anything that brings you joy. And then, you know, just treating yourself well and loving yourself on every level. So for me, that usually means not poisoning myself.
I mean, every little thing you said, I'm like thinking of the average American. They're probably like, oh, my dino chicken nuggies are fine. You know, that's food, right? There's chicken.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
just make your own chicken nuggets if you want to.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, like, why you don't like Whole Foods.
I don't like Whole Foods.
The store.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Whole Foods is not the store. It's like a vegetable, it's meat, it's not like whole fat dairy, unprocessed food from the earth. I do not like Whole Foods because I think that they are liars. I think that they make it seem like they are the epitome of health. Most things in there are very processed, a lot of seed oils. You know, medical school was quite challenging. So there would be times where, you know, you just have to get something quick and easy. So I'd go to the hot food bar and nothing on the hot food bar is organic, first of all. And it would make me sick. And I'm like, why is this making me sick? Because it's all seed oils. I feel like seed oils was one of the last things that I became more awake to. And it's just really inflammatory and it's very expensive. So I think that people are trying to make good choices by going somewhere like that, but it's owned by Amazon.
Right. Yeah. They're getting what is it? Greenwashed or
totally. That's what it feels like.
Gaslit.
Yeah. I would much rather have someone go to Sprouts. I would much rather have someone go to a farmer's market. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of co-ops. When I'm not in this area, I just, and if I'm out and about, I'm like, where's the local co-op? Where can I find them?
That's really cool.
Yeah. Co-ops are amazing. And I used to think they were for like crunchy people, and I'm crunchy now.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, you feel and look great. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
So
thank you so much.
The uncrunchiness, y'all will turn soon. I know it.
Yeah.
Because it feels good to feel good. That's like what I go by. Like, I want to feel good for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to be a good example for my kids.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you doing all this to your body, to your soul, to your mental is only going to produce a happier child. It's only going to produce a child that has a hell of a lot less percentage to have, like, you know, maybe an autoimmune disorder or whatnot. So like you doing these things are extremely important. And like, you know, like me feeding myself good right now for fertility and all that, like I want to produce like a warrior, not a freaking soy boy.
Yes, so, exactly.
You know,
like those memes of like the chick holding up the guy, like making out against a chain link fence, and he's like, "Oh, milk lattes, win." Yeah, that's not what we're going for. Yeah, no, that's not what we're going for here.
Yeah, so even if you're not doing it for yourself right now, do it for your future generations.
Yes, and
that's also something that's crazy. Future generations. So there's a general statistic that by 2040, that humans will have 0 sperm infertility, which is mind-blowing to me. Yeah.
I mean, homie, it's so bad. It's so bad because I think that the wave of consciousness typically slips into the female's mind first. To be honest, it does.
For sure. Y'all are a lot more conscious than us, without a doubt.
We're superior. Sorry, love you.
It's okay.
So they come to see me and, you know, they've already been eating healthy and they want to make a baby. Like women that want to have a baby, they've known that ever since they were little. And sometimes they won't do things for themselves, but they will do it for their future child. So they're, you know, they're exercising, they're working on their stress, they quit smoking, they're not taking Adderall anymore. You know, they're doing all these things, but their partner's like, I'm good. I'm just going to vape and drink some Budweiser at night. And they try to get pregnant for months and months and months. And they go, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? And then I go, can we get your man in here? And then the man doesn't want to come. I'm like, well, let's at least test his sperm. Horrifying. And also just even if you were to go to your standard doctor and have them test your sperm, the limits, the upper limits and the lower limits, they drastically change.
Per doctor or per like testing facility?
Yeah, well, per just the government agency that deems this is good, this is bad. It's changed over the last I think it was like 15, 20 years. So now it's much, 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 much lower. And they say this is normal. It's not. Whoa. I have my patients in optimal, which is significantly higher. So they're like, yeah, we had it checked out. Everything's good. I'm like, that is not good. You should not have that low of motility. You should not have that strange of morphology. You should not have that low of testosterone. That's not what we should have if we are healthy. But it's almost like the standards through the government agencies, they're reflecting how sick the population is because they don't want us to know.
That's my conspiracy theorist, which, you know, in a couple of years is just, you know, logic minded.
Yes.
It's like, that's interesting. Like they're just like brushing down the guidelines to like, you know, just like, oh, this is normal. Like everything your experience is normal. Is that weird to you?
Yes. It makes me want to move to Europe.
Yeah. Well, I kind of do want to move out of the country, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Central America's.
Yeah.
Just, I want to be in the jungle.
You belong in the jungle.
Yeah, I
I
do.
belong in the jungle.
Yeah.
That's why we're here right now. But I deeply get that. But it's sad because my family is here and my friends are here. And it's not fucking fair.
I know it's not. And it's really just sad what the government just is like onslaughting these people with just as normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so sad. Yeah. It's crazy.
But more people are waking up. And I do have faith. There was a long time I didn't have faith.
Same. I agree.
Yeah. And it's starting to shift.
Yep. I agree for
People
sure.
are waking up.
These conversations on these cameras, I'm not super stoked to be like on my phone every day, but to help other people and to get like really cool DMs like, oh, you've like dramatically helped my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Makes it so worth it for me. And
Yes.
that's where I see like people are starting to wake up for sure.
Yes.
It is a slow ripple effect. And I think the younger generation is seeing the iPad kids, the iPad generation. They're like, oh, I don't want to be like that. And like, what can I do to like, not be anything like that? So I really do see that like slowly starting to unfold. And I think actually the government is scared of that. That's why I think
Yes,
that
they
they're
are.
pushing like the trans movement and all that, which I don't care what you are, who you deem yourself as, but I think that's why they're like breaking away the family unit and all this kind of stuff, because the more divide is the easier for them to push their logic onto us.
Divide and conquer, baby.
Yeah.
Simple.
So
Tale as old
crazy.
as time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird to me that what they're doing, without a doubt.
Yeah, and this honestly happened to me in 2020. In 2020, my life exploded. Truly the worst explosion I could have ever imagined, which now I'm really grateful for because everything fell into place. But while it was happening, I was just so depressed and so overwhelmed that I went under my rock. I just didn't care. People would bring up what was going on in the world. I'm like, don't even tell me. I do not want to know. That is not real. I can't even plant this seed in my consciousness. Absolutely fucking not. And I've been under that rock ever since. It's been 4 years now. Like, it's actually so funny to me when my patients will tell me things. I'm like, wait, that's what's going on in the world? And they're like, doctor,
Right.
how do you not know? I'm like, I just don't know. It's not conducive for my mental health.
I agree.
But when I do even just dip my toe into what's going on out there, it is mind blowing, and it's only in favor of, control. And people that are healthy can't be controlled. People that think for themselves can't be controlled. People that are not a part of the system cannot be controlled. And more people are shifting out of that. And it's fucking amazing and empowering. And that's what's giving me the faith.
We are definitely like us percentage. I don't know how big we are, but we are the scariest to the government.
Yeah.
They
Be
don't like
scared.
us. Yeah. Because we're independent. We're not dependently thinking on what they have to say, feed us, whatever.
Yeah. I don't want your food. I don't want your medicine. I'm good.
Or your logic.
No, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
It's very illogical.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I also when 2020 happened, I call it the plandemic, by the way.
Yeah. I understand why.
Yeah. And I'll say what you can, by the way, because I can. So
Yeah.
It's
Share
just
anything
like,
you want.
I was also like, nope, I'm just not gonna like listen to what they have to say. Like people like yelling at me for not wearing a mask. Nope, don't care. Like I'm staying in my own lane. And like that's like a lot of stuff is happening around the world and it has been forever. But like things in the Middle East and stuff, and it's like I just can't think about it because it is not conducive for my mental health. I have to keep my own energy so I can continue to give my energy out. And whenever I like lend it to another thing that I have no help, I can't help you, I can't help them. It's like I gotta stay in my own lane. I gotta stay in my own bubble.
Yeah.
So I can only help the people that are in front of me and myself, not somebody in worlds away. You know? So
but in you not paying into that system, you are helping because they need our money to fuel these wars and to fuel this fucking genocide and like sick shit that goes on.
Yeah.
So if we don't pay them, because that's how we vote in this country, with our money,
Yes.
and you will get none of my money,
Yep.
none of it.
Yep.
So that's where I stand on that.
What's the most common thing that you see in patients as a general that is maybe alarming or just something that's like really common that people should work on, for instance?
Yeah, something that is common that people should work on, like health-wise.
Yeah, like health-wise, like through their charts. I would say like mold because that's definitely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like a stealthy one, though. A lot of people still don't even think that's real, honestly, until they get really sick. Then they're like, oh, maybe I should think about it. That's a good one. I would say blood sugar.
Okay.
Blood sugar is huge that no one thinks that they have an issue with.
Okay, so what does a good blood sugar look like? What does a bad blood sugar look like?
Yeah, so your fasting blood sugar, I would say should be somewhere between 85, low 90s. Okay. And if you're fasting and your blood sugar is high 90s, above 100, that means that you have unstable blood sugar. But there's few things to those pictures, because it's not only fasting blood sugar, it's something called hemoglobin A1C, which is how high and how low your blood sugar swings. Okay. Because when your blood sugar swings high, there's excess sugar in your blood. And that excess sugar will bind to proteins, and it causes immense inflammation. It causes every cell of your body to be, screaming out for attention, essentially. And then when your blood sugar gets low, that triggers your adrenal glands that there is an immense danger, there is a stress. So these up and lows can lead to crazy shifts in energy, in mood, in anxiety, in depression, in fatigue. So I see that being huge. And then that overflows into every other inflammatory reaction. So that plays a lot into hormones, that plays a lot into sleep, that plays a lot into anything that's inflammatory in nature. So that is massive. And I've shared this before on my podcast, but just because we're talking about it, we talked a lot about food. Processed food is largely just sugar. Anything that is, fat-free is just filled with sugar. Anything that comes in a package, they largely add sugar to it. So it's already doing this up and down swing. And if you're someone that is irritable and hangry, and then you eat, that is a sign that your blood sugar was probably low before you ate.
Okay.
And if your blood sugar is high after you eat, those are the people that are like, I have to take an afternoon nap. I have to lay down after lunch. I'm like, okay, that's your blood sugar spiking. So that's huge. And that is largely just related to your diet. So you could do things like eating more fiber, eating more protein. I was a hanger queen when I was vegan. And, I was eating primarily whole foods. I was eating lots of beans and hummus. I thought I was doing the right thing.
Right.
But that was horrible for my mental health, for my metabolism, for my hormones, regular cycles, things like that. So that's something that people can definitely start to work on. And it comes down to just how you're choosing to feed your body with the quality of food, but also just what is actually on your plate. Is it largely carbs? Is it largely balanced with, and, we need carbs. So I'm not against carbs. I'm not keto. I'm far from fucking keto, especially women. We will not ovulate. We will not have a menstrual cycle. That's just not healthy at all. And our body runs on glucose. We evolved with fruit. We evolved with vegetables. Those have glucose in them, but it's just the sheer amounts of it. And so many people are like, you spoke to our parents' generation. They were scared of fat for so long.
Yeah.
So then people don't want to eat dairy, and they don't want to eat these like fatty cuts of meat, and they want lean this and lean that versus just eating a normal cut of beef that has fat on it, which is where all the fat soluble vitamins are. So I could go on, but blood sugar then overflows into lipids. And lipids is another word for cholesterol, and people then are put on statins because their cholesterol is high when it's really just the pizza and the fast food and the soda that they're drinking, and it has nothing to do with a deficiency in a statin drug.
Yeah. So sad. And then they need other drugs to, counteract the symptoms from that one. And
yes.
That. So if you ate fruit versus processed sugar, your blood sugar is not going to go up and down as drastic?
No, it wouldn't, because there's also fiber in that.
Okay.
I would argue to say, like a big fruit bowl, there's going to be a lot of sugar in that, right?
Right.
But if you also ate the fruit after eating something that, had protein, okay. if you're like a fruitarian, that's not going to be great for you. No, it's not going to be great. No. But fruit is, it's nature's gift. It's delicious.
So yeah, if you ate it with a whole animal-based protein with the fruit, you're good to go. It's going to be pretty...
For sure. And I would much rather you have a fruit than a fruit juice because there's no fiber in that. Even if it's, like the people that are huge on juicing, yes, you can juice things and it would be bioavailable as far as the nutrients, but you get that if you just eat the fucking fruit.
Right.
So
instead of spending 30 minutes on the juicer and then you gotta clean it. And,
exhausting.
Yeah, literally.
I could never.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are women's cycles, do you mostly see them irregular?
Yes.
Wow.
A lot of them, yes. But also I work with a lot of women that are like, intermittent fasting is good because my male trainer told me that I should not eat until 2 p.m. And I'm like, well, what are you eating in the morning? They're like, coffee. I have coffee, but I put collagen in it. And sometimes I put ghee in it. So it's kind of like a meal. And I'm trying to get into a caloric deficit so that I can lose 5 fucking pounds. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, your body does not feel safe. And now your cycle is very irregular. But also then to even go back to what we were saying about all the endocrine disrupting chemicals, when we're just dousing themselves in things that are confusing their estrogen communication and their detox via their liver. So irregular cycles are a huge issue. And then these women are like, I want to get pregnant. Or they've been on birth control forever. We didn't even speak to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many things on that for sure. Yeah. Melody, she works with the feminine way of working out because the fitness industry, the health industry is male dominated. So the intermittent fasting is such a bring home an easy way to lose fat and all this kind of stuff and to lose weight, which is unfortunate. It's just mismarketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad.
A safe body will not lose weight because it's almost as if a woman, especially if they're storing weight in their belly and their inner thighs, that's to protect your sweet little womb. So if your body doesn't think it's going to eat tomorrow, or is not sure because you eat a little bit today, you don't eat tomorrow because you're guilty about what you ate the day before, whatever it is, then the body goes, okay, I don't trust. So I'm going to keep this here to support me, to keep this here, to, incubate my little baby.
Right.
So then so many women just get in this really bad cycle. And I've spoken to this on this podcast. I used to, especially when I started being healthy, definitely had orthorexia. So I would be obsessed with what I was eating. And that wasn't healthy either.
No.
You have to have some freedom and some flow. And I would just still tell myself, this is good, this is bad. And that would then put my body in, this isn't safe. And once I started eating more, working out less, and just eating meat, honestly, my whole body just became, I would say, perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, I would say absolutely perfect.
Yes. You're intuitive, which is really important because I feel like a lot of people, they yo-yo, they go from unstrict to really strict, and that's not healthy, like, at all. So I'm a big preach of balance, like 90-10, 80-20, whatever percentage you want to call it. But yeah, like, I work out, I move, I do all these things, so I can have some ice cream whenever that I want,
yes, you can.
Yeah, so it's fun. But yeah, I feel like, once again, it's the beauty industry putting a lot of shame on women to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And that almost goes like into Botox, into implants. And I've seen many women in my many women in my life actually get explants and stop Botox and all this stuff. Women are waking up to that as well. Which is, can you speak upon that, like what they're putting in their body per se?
I would love to speak on that. So we did this little episode about non-toxic just skincare and acupuncture and gua sha and things on the face. But Botox in particular, first of all, it's a fucking neurotoxin. So if you're eating organic and then you're injecting yourself with a neurotoxin, something's just like not adding up there. So you're injecting a neurotoxin, which does not always stay localized. Some can go systemic and you could have horrifying side effects. But in doing that, because you're shutting off the muscular contraction of your face, our muscles in our face actually communicate with our brainstem and our brain about how we're feeling, how the other person is feeling. So it disconnects us from our emotions and also from able to interconnect. So that at baseline, independent of how toxic it is, that is a significant toxin that your body has to clear out. It doesn't just stay localized. Your body, that's why you need more, because your body is metabolizing it and clearing it out. Very toxic substance. Things like fillers, you have no idea what is in them. A lot of the times they're plastic. There are high associations with microplastics, cancers, things like that, just from these injections to make your lips bigger and like your cheeks more plump. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's actually this filter that sometimes I put on with my producer, which she's horrified by, that it makes me look like this. It's called pillow face, and like my cheeks are huge. And there's some men that slide into my DMs being like, "You look gorgeous. What did you have done?" I'm like, "What is wrong with you?
God, that's
like, what is wrong with them?" Like, yes, I know that my face might not be for everyone, which is fine. I don't want it to be, but that one can't be the face. That one cannot be the face that is for everyone. And then anything implants, that is a foreign object in your body. So yes, when you put it in there, it might be plastic. I mean, it might be, it's usually plastic. So then not only is your body reacting to that, you're getting low levels of exposure all the time. They are a perfect little growing ground for bacteria, for yeast, for colonies of creatures. So they become an area of biofilms. So I've had a lot of women get really sick because their breast implants actually get moldy.
Oh, man.
Or they'll just have a leak in a breast implant that they don't realize because it's really slow and low, and now it's releasing these toxins into their bloodstream. But then when they go to get imaging, they'll have these little pockets of extreme inflammation. And I always check inflammatory levels on patients' blood work. And, sometimes women don't even want to tell me that they've had breast implants, and we go through their surgical history. We go through literally everything, but they don't think to tell me that they have breast implants, or that they've had work done on their face, because it's just so commonplace. But that is a surgery. That is a major surgery. And your immune system's like, wait, what is this in here? Should this be in here? This should not be in here. So it could trigger things like autoimmune disease as well.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for women because it's like the beauty industry just makes, not even product wise, but like I feel like as a whole in society, we have dismissed the wise, the older generation. Like, you always want to look young, you always want to do this, but forget about grandpa and grandma. Like, you know, the old, they're in their old folks' home. Like, keep them locked up. Whereas, like,
I don't want to see them.
Yeah, we should be listening to their wisdom. Their wrinkles are a sign of like experience on this earth, beauty, like all these things, you know. And it's like, it's unfortunate the way that we've been marketed to where, oh, you have to have this perfect face, this no stretch marks or whatever. Like, it's so sad. It's like, this is a part of life, you know.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. And it's just, yeah, I think what we should be like shaming is, you know, people not getting in the sun, maybe, you know.
Yes.
Like, that's like maybe like the
but
only.
The sun
like,
causes cancer, Austin.
Yeah. Right. Well.
Yeah.
Geez. Yeah. That's weird. That, you know.
That was full sarcasm, if you couldn't tell, listeners.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, it's so sad. I think another thing, which, by the way, I love yoga pants.
Oh, let's go there. Let's go there.
You know, love them, love the look, but
they do look good.
The material of them, polyester, it's essentially a plastic. It's a petroleum-based material. Ugh. And a lot of women, but men too, have them on their genitals all day.
Yes, they do.
Whether they're wearing underwear or not, which oftentimes underwear is made of polyester or a man-made material, which is been shown in studies to decrease their hormones, especially men, decrease testosterone.
Yep.
Fertility issues. Yeah, it's so sad. Also, in men, testes size as well.
Yes.
To decrease that. Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Sperm count altogether in men, not good. So that's another big thing that I see that, you know, Lululemon, Alo or whatever, Vuori, it's so popular.
Yes.
But it's like women don't know, which, by the way, I'm a big fan of yoga pants. It's what's in between your yoga pants and your genitals, you know, like make sure to have a natural linen for sure, like cotton or bamboo or organic cotton. I think that's really important. And not a lot of people realize that as well. So it's just, you know, a subconscious thing, you know, everyone's wearing Lululemon, that's the trendy thing. And so they don't think twice about it. And that's just like another like hidden endocrine disruptor.
Yeah. I'm really happy that you brought that up because we live in the land of yoga pants. I will never forget the first time I put on Lululemons. I'm like, these feel like butter. I understand why people pay hundreds of dollars for their Lululemon wardrobe. And, you know, as a yoga teacher, you live in yoga pants.
Right.
And I used to be a hot yoga teacher. So now I'm sweating in these recycled, I thought I was doing good, like in recycled plastic yoga pants. I'm like, I'm saving the environment. But then all these microplastics, they just absorb through your skin. So once that consciousness was shifted in my mind, I got rid of all of them.
Wow.
And we're both wearing organic undies right now.
Yes.
Which we can brag about. But I truly got rid of all of them. And I don't put anything on my body. Like literally everything I'm wearing right now is an organic fabric. From anything that you see on my body is an organic fabric right now. And there are a lot of yoga brands that are coming out that have phenomenal quality. Like Pact is one.
Yep.
That's what these pants are, but their spandex are really good because also you don't want to get like, I mean, we love yoga pants because how they fit. So you don't want to get yoga pants that are like saggy and look weird.
Right.
So Pact is phenomenal. There's another one called, I always call them garbage, but it's not garbage. It's not garbage.
I think another woman one is Indigo Luna.
Indigo Luna is really good too. Yes. It's not Garage. It's something like that. It's so funny. It might be Garage.
But for underwear, Organic Jaguar as well.
That's for undies.
Coming out, and coming out with a women's line. Just
Perfect.
Like doing like measurements. It's taken a while. To
Wonderful.
Get it, like,
I will rep them.
Heck yeah, thank you. Yeah,
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's just organic cotton, like having the natural linen is so freaking important. So not spray without any pesticides. It's Yeah, and for anyone that's trying to buy my baby gifts, please don't buy them any clothes because I'm going to have to return them all because my baby can't wear anything other than organic products. Oh, another thing about babies. Is our feet. So shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes is a big one. Like we are meant to not necessarily be barefoot all the time, but like the connection with our feet is so big on how we move, on how we walk, and like our movement patterns. That like your knee or your hip pain might stem from why your foot can't have a flexion or extension the way it's supposed to, or your toes are supposed to spread out to grip the earth. And what I call shoes is foot prisons. Because essentially, I mean, we have like this narrow toe box now. Every other shoe does. We can't spread out our freaking toes the way we're supposed to. We're not connected with the earth anymore. Grounding. Let's talk about grounding. And like that's a huge thing. So I'm sure your baby will probably maybe only wear shoes for pictures, but yeah, I'm sure
little moccasins for pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then like other than that, like I have friends now that with their babies, like they never wear shoes. They like, for years.
Yeah.
Which is so freaking cool.
I mean, I actually giggle to myself whenever I see a podiatrist, honestly, just because
What do they do?
that's just a foot doctor.
Yeah,
like
right.
they're literally just looking at the foot. Which, okay, but like you can't look at the foot without looking at the ankle. You can't look at the ankle without looking at the knee, and it goes up the whole line. So I love that because, yes, the way that we stand, and that's actually, I do a lot of yoga teacher trainings and we talk about anatomy. We literally start with the feet because so often you could be doing this repetitive movement pattern and you don't realize that's why your knee is having an injury, which is what you were going back to, or your hip, or how that's translating into your neck or your low back. And it really all does start with that connection to the earth. So I love that you said that. And you know, this earth has everything that we need to heal. Okay. Unfortunately, it's been poisoned. So we have to be mindful about where we're getting that healing kind of ingredient from. But it really does have everything that we need. Healing is simple. And that's also why I love your products, because they're all just earth-based things. So I feel like since we could talk literally forever, we should talk about some of the goodies that you have, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I would
sharing.
love to, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I make the best natural products, and if you think you have a better natural product, send it my way, and I'll see, and maybe I'll make it even better. But I think currently they're the best. So, like, let's just take a look at this body wash, for instance. It's literally just aloe, jojoba oil, shea butter, vegetable glycerin, and decoglucoside, which is from coconuts. So 1, it's like extremely hydrating for your skin. 2, it cleans really well. 3, it smells good. It's unscented. I will work on scents. It'll be organic.
It doesn't need a scent.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It smells delicious. I love the scent, and my skin feels amazing. It's all I've been using since you gave me some.
That's amazing. Thank you.
It really is.
I hope forever use it, because I will continue to supply you, because that would be my honor.
Will do.
And yeah, it feels like I even use the body wash as a shaving gel as well, because many shaving gels, even razors, they have forever chemicals in the strip on the gel pad of it. But yeah, a lot of shaving gel is crap. So
yes.
Sunblock, once again, a lot of people spray the aerosol sprays, which are chemical based. Even Sunbalm has been touted as a natural brand. It has avobenzone in it. When avobenzone reacts with UV, it creates free radicals in your body, which are
cancer,
hard to get rid of. Yep, and a plethora of other crazy lab-made ingredients that they have. So look for a mineral-based sunscreen, non-anoxic oxide, with ingredients you can read. So, for instance, like this sunblock is mostly grass-fed, grass-finished beef tallow, olive oil, shea butter, beeswax, cacao powder to tint it a little bit so you're not pasty.
Yeah.
White, carrot oil, and non-anoxic oxide. And
Epic.
That's it. Yeah, it smells really good. You can get it
I actually wanted to ask you if I could sniff it.
Yeah.
Let me get a whiff.
Yes. And it's not a ton of essential oils either.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's
smells tropical.
That's the coconut, mango pineapple. Damn, I wanted to grab the coconut pineapple because I like that better.
I mean, this is really nice.
That's my favorite scent.
The smell it is
But the unscented is great. Yeah, I love this stuff. I use it every single day. So, you know what's wild? You brought up at the beginning of the episode, like, only company owners that don't use their own product, very big red flag.
Sketch.
Apple and the executives, all their kids don't use iPhones.
What?
Because they know how addicting it is,
Okay, it's crazy. That's good.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, so another big thing is the organic cotton underwear. This is a biodegradable bag. I'm just, like, everything I do, I try to do it the best on all terms. So this is wheat straw, which is made of biodegradable material.
I was curious what the material was.
Yeah, so you could literally plant this in the ground, besides the label, plant this in the ground and it's going to disintegrate within a few months. We do now have wheat straw flip tops, so the whole freaking thing is biodegradable. Working on just offloading the plastic pumps that we have. Shower filter is an easy health investment, just like $50 every 3 months, spend $15 to get a replacement filter. The chlorine in our tap water is a really harsh disinfectant for our skin and our hair. So it's something that you don't want to be showering in all the time.
No.
Which is crazy. I mean, our skin absorbs so much, and the chlorine, the chloramide, the forever chemicals in our tap water is being absorbed through our skin. So this is an easy way to mitigate that. Something I don't sell, but I'm a huge advocate for, is water. You need water to live. So might as well get a damn good filter for your water. I always recommend just reverse osmosis systems, like a 5-stage or higher. If you're a college student that can't afford that, get a countertop unit and an RO system that's $150. Yes, that might seem like a lot to you, but in the long run, that's so worth it. Also, you can get a 5-gallon jug that costs $10, $20.
Exactly.
Go refill it at the store for 50 cents a gallon.
Yes.
And that will last you a week or two.
Yes.
So, like, if you don't have the money, like there is ways to do this, you know, go to the farmer's market, the co-op, all these kind of things. There are ways to mitigate these non-toxic or these toxic environments. Let's see what else I got.
Ooh.
This is all stuff that I might add to the lineup. Like this is a body scrub, like coffee.
Oh,
So
delicious.
tallow, coconut oil, coffee, olive oil, brown sugar, vanilla. Yeah, I haven't even opened that. We gotta open that after.
What a cute little jar.
Yeah, super cool. I like the jar a lot. This is just, you know.
So it doesn't leak.
Yeah, so it doesn't leak, exactly.
We're popping it open.
The deodorant is amazing, really good. We are now adding hemp oil and replacing the grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil isn't an industrial processed lubricant like most seed oils, but so many people were like, oh my God, blah, blah. So I swapped it out for hemp seed oil. No big deal.
You're the best.
These are a bunch of different scents that I'm working on for sunblock. I'm stoked on that. And after sun lotion, this is just extra virgin olive oil, mango butter, beeswax, aloe, plantain oil, calendula oil, cucumber, and mint essential oils.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I love all this stuff.
I love how much you love it.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. And once again, all these ingredients you can read and pronounce. You know,
You can eat
they're
them.
not like sodium lauryl sulfate or like crazy ingredients. Like if there's numbers in the ingredients, just run. Like please run. This is an all natural bug bite salve. So to prevent bug bites, I'm working on a tanning oil, which is passion fruit, carrot oil, red raspberry seed oil, avocado oil, and another oil I cannot pronounce right there. Salt sprays, all this kind of stuff. So I can't pronounce it because I can't read the handwriting, by the way, guys.
You're a great educated man. We know this.
So, yeah, that's it. And I'm always trying to add more, but I am a small business, so I don't spend any profit from this other than like rent. Like it's all going back on the business. So it takes me a while to add new products. I have so many suggestions or recommendations of what I should do, but it takes a bit. As you know, it just takes a while to grow. So I'm stoked on what I currently do have and, you know, what's to come and all that. But it just brings me a lot of joy to help other people with products that ultimately are an amazing alternative for what they have in their common store. So, yeah.
Yes.
I'm stoked on it. Thank you for giving me the platform to speak about it and to have this conversation. It's so amazing. It's so awesome. I feel like hopefully you'll re-invite me back on the podcast.
Yes.
I feel like we have like so many other things that we could talk about. We didn't even talk about mold, which I'm going through.
We'll talk about mold and the gut and all sorts of stuff next time.
There's so much things.
I mean, I knew that this was going to just go by so fast. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not asking me to do this. I've been using his shampoo and conditioner, and I have like pretty thick, kind of like wavy, wild hair, and it's working great.
Amazing.
I love it. It feels nourishing. My scalp feels great. It's shiny. People have been complimenting my hair, which as a Leo, we love. And I love it. I've tried the deodorant, which is phenomenal. It smells delicious. I love the body wash. Have the shower filter before I even met you. Huge fan of it. I am now going to use it as my garden hose. I will be underwear model, as will my child.
That's
And I will try one of everything because that all sounds amazing. Doctor approved. You get my stamp of approval. That all sounds amazing. And also, I just really appreciate how passionate you are about this stuff because, you know, I'm passionate about it, and meeting other people that give a fuck, once again, give me faith in this world. And also, just at the end of every conversation, I always give you the stage to see if there's anything else that you want to share as far as a truth bomb or a knowledge bomb or a love bomb to someone or anything at all that's just on the tip of your heart and your mind that you want to share.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I would say a lot of people's issues can be mitigated just by going back to our natural ancestral roots. And what I mean by that is just getting a little bit of sun, just moving your body, whether that's yoga, whether it's walking, eating whole foods, doing inner work to see why you have certain triggers and certain things, getting around like-minded people, a community, people that are going to push you. You are the top 5 people that you surround yourself with. So surround yourself with people that are maybe even better than you so you can rise with them. And I just want to say we're all in this together. I was drinking tap water for 27 years, you know, like I didn't live the lifestyle so much my whole life. So like this is new to me as well. So we are all in this earth together, and I know that you can do it. I know that you have the power to change. I did. We all can do this together. Keep listening to Dr. Ashley. She'll dial you in. She'll put you on game. I'm stoked about it. But yeah, guys, I feel like a lot of issues in society can be changed through natural modalities, which is really freaking cool. Of course, all this stuff is great, but like just moving your body and eating well and just understanding what you're putting on and in your body is going to alleviate a lot of things. So thank you so much for having me on. This is amazing. I'm stoked. This is awesome. I can't wait for this to come out.
Yes.
And yeah, we could stay here for hours. Like I would be eating lunch here,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll eat at some point, but you're a phenomenal human.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Truly so happy I met you. Excited for our future together as best friends. Just stoked for everything that you're going to create and just for everything that you put out there. Thanks for educating the community in the way that you do. Thanks for being willing to teach my listeners something. And I just can't wait to have you back.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for healing me from inside out. I know we're in the beginning of my journey with you. So I'm stoked, and I'll be fully transparent about everything because I want to show you what I'm going through, specifically mold. A lot of people know that I'm dealing with that, so I'm excited to let everybody know. So thank you.
You're welcome. I got you. Thanks for trusting me. Woo. Bye, fam.
Bye.